So let's have a look at the XRP token. Not so much Ripple, the issuer of the XRP token, but the token itself. We'll look at market history and previous market cycles and work out if this is an investment that would be worthy of a long-term hold. Now the focus on this video is the price action, historically, and to see if we can project a future outcome. But a very brief summary of why the token was conceived is simply to make a fast, reliable and highly liquid cross-border payment system. The XRapid technology provided by Ripple is aimed at financial organisations and banks with an aim for them to settle payments using the XRapid system and in turn use the XRP token to facilitate those transactions in any fiat currency and cryptocurrency. Now you're probably more than aware that the internet is completely swamped with a range of price predictions for XRP, and the disparity of these price predictions are completely ridiculous. Some people base their predictions on the technology, basically the fundamentals of Ripple. Some people literally just create ridiculously high numbers in order to get you to click on their videos. Some people try and do technical analysis, but very rarely will you get a realistic opinion. But what I'm going to do is show some price projections. All of them realistic, all of them bullish, and one of them really bullish. And all these projections are based on previous market cycles and history. And I'm going to break it down as simply and as quickly as possible. So this is the full XRP chart history since it came onto the market in 2013. It originally started trading at roughly half a cent, and at the all-time high traded at $3.40. That was a massive 680x. That means if you put $100 in 2013, 5 years later it would have been worth $68,000. Now obviously that didn't happen overnight, and there was plenty of price action that took place in this area here that we're going to look at a little bit closer to see if there's any correlation to what's taking place with price action recently. At its all-time low, XRP had traded at 0.25 of a cent. It later rallied that year to close to 6 cents, an increase of 2,280%. And after that rally it spent 3.5 years consolidating from that all-time high and upsetting a lot of people who bought close to that top. So after 3.5 years of consolidation, XRP finally came back to life. However, it was a fake out, testing the all-time high and dumping straight afterwards. But what it showed was that a new cycle had begun. The downtrend of XRP had finished and something new had started. And that thing was the bull run in 2017 that most of you are probably aware of. The consolidation finished in May 2017, which led to the all-time high in January 2018. Now the reason I'm bringing up these details is because markets are often cyclical, meaning that they run on cycles, and it would appear that on the face of it, XRP's cycle spends the vast majority of its time consolidating from an all-time high. The last downtrend took 3.5 years to complete, before starting a new uptrend, which ended up with a new all-time high 56 times higher than the previous one. Now I am definitely not saying that XRP will be 56 times its last all-time high, but what I am saying is the last part of the XRP market cycle is where the gains are likely to be made. Now this graph shows the first parabolic top that we had of 6 cents, with a consolidation that lasted 3.5 years afterwards. The graph at the bottom shows the most recent parabolic top where we reached $3.40, and we're currently over halfway through that consolidation phase. Notice that the volatility on the second cycle is a lot less than that on the first, which leads me to believe that the next all-time high won't be as dramatic as the last one we've seen. The main reason is because the market cap for XRP was a lot less in the first cycle, meaning that it took a lot less money to cause movement on the chart. Throughout the first market cycle, the market cap was roughly 45 times less than that of the second. So I'm going to assume that the next all-time high will be 45 times less dramatic than the last one. So the first rough calculation of the new all-time high, and a very crude one at that, will be to take the last all-time high, times that by 56, and then divide that by 45, which suggests that the new all-time high will be $4.23. Another thing we can do is look at the low point of the first consolidation phase, being roughly about half a cent, and the all-time high of $3.40, which is 68 times higher than the low point. Our new consolidation, even though it's not finished yet, sank to a low of 10 cents, so we're going to use that figure to estimate a new all-time high, and this time we're going to leave out market cap and multiply 10 cents 68 times, which gives us a figure of $6.80. Coincidentally, this is a 2x from our last all-time high, but I must say I dislike this estimation the most because it's too oversimplified. So we're going to try something new this time. These are two Fibonacci retracements, one from the parabolic top and one from the fake out. You can see that these lines don't match exactly, and they're not really supposed to, but they are actually quite close. So focusing specifically on the fake out, this was an all-time high at the time at 40 cent, consolidating dramatically all the way down to 12.5 cent, trying to push our way above the golden pocket, being rejected from the 618 twice, and on the third time we launched and went parabolic, finding our all-time high at $3.40, consolidating thereafter, which is the situation that we find ourselves in at the moment. But if history were to repeat itself, I would imagine a giant move all the way up to its all-time high, roughly about 6 months before the end of the cycle, then consolidating down to probably around 86 cent, which is where this red zone is, bouncing around these levels, being rejected at around about $2, before blowing the top off all the way up to a brand new all-time high. The XRP cycle takes 4 years, 3.5 in a downtrend, and roughly 6 months in an uptrend, and the uptrend being extremely aggressive. The last uptrend had a fake out, peaking at 40 cents, consolidating again by 70%, and then launching all the way up to the top. So using those Fibonacci retracement tools, we're going to treat 40 cent in the same way that we'd use the all-time high of $3.40. So from 40 cent to $3.40 is an 850% move. So if you multiply our all-time high by 8.5%, it brings you $28.90. Now I understand that that's a very, very high figure, and I for one would be extremely surprised if it did reach that, but the thing to take away from this video, if anything, is to pay attention to the market cycle. Because XRP runs on a 4-year cycle, I'm not expecting any big moves until May 2021, because trying to predict an all-time high in a 3.5-year downtrend is almost an impossible task and purely speculative. This isn't investment advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. This is my interpretation of the 4-year cycle, and I do believe it will end with a bang, but nobody, not even me, can predict exactly where the moon is going to be. But for regular updates on price action, XRP included, please subscribe to the channel and join the Telegram, and watch out for the Moon Boys.